The 1996 video game Crash Bandicoot, it is an iconic one, and there's a lot to like about this game, even more 25 years of being released. And this is a video game I would recommend people check out because it's just that fun. Even though this game is fun, it's also one of the most frustrating video games I have ever played. So the story of this one is that Crash Bandicoot must stop the evil Dr. Cortex who had kidnapped his girlfriend Twana. And from there is a video game that is still entertaining all these years later, and it has started a franchise which still continues to this day. Now there are some things I did like about this video game, such as the gameplay mechanics, the music, and to be honest, this video game is not perfect, but the legacy of it speaks for itself. And the thing about Crash himself, that despite the lack of voice to this character, he still is an interesting one. Considering how much Naughty Dog had invested into this franchise, it paid off for them in the long run. Nonetheless, when it comes down to it, this is a video game that is still fun to play even more than 2 decades later. And if you somehow haven't played this classic one, check it out because it is well worth the effort. Now to be honest, the gameplay mechanics and the graphics haven't aged all that well, but honestly, this is a fun game despite how frustrating it really is. Like, no joke, this is one of the toughest games that I have played. And one thing I will say is that what the developers were thinking creating such difficult levels. I mean, it's bad enough to hit points and the lack of checkpoints on some levels. But anyway, Crash Bandicoot, he is an interesting character despite the mere fact he doesn't talk whatsoever. And lack of a great story. Like, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the mere fact this game is over 25 years old. And the mere fact the ending was just downright bad. And not just that, but we don't know a whole lot about Crash Bandicoot. Sure, we know he has a girlfriend called Twana. And one thing I must say, what happened to Twana? She didn't return to the 4th game. And there's a reason for that. Apparently, it was company backlash. And so they just rented her out with no explanation whatsoever in the future sequels. One thing I noticed that was an issue was the lack of character development, especially for characters such as, let's say, Cortex. I get he's the bad guy, but what's his real motivation? What's his plan? He had more character development in Crash Bandicoot 2 Cortex Strikes Back than this one. And I must say that it really does hurt the game. Now, I don't think this is a horrible game. I don't think it's a dumpster fire. It's not a great game by today's standards. I thought the story was alright or lack thereof. Like, seriously, there's only like maybe 1 to 2 cutscenes in this game. Hey, I get it. It was 1996. Naughty Dog, they was a company that was not well known at the time. Sure, it might have worked on some games before, but this was the franchise that really got them the respect, as they will end up creating future franchises such as The Last of Us, Jak and Daxter, and obviously others. But I will say that overall, this game, it's one that I probably won't go back to play, only because the layer difficulty and the layer levels just keeps it from being replayable. Sure, you can pick this one up and have a good time with it, but overall, in my honest opinion, I thought this game could have ended up being something more. But one thing I would say, it did create Crash Bandicoot and the franchise that still is going strong today. And quite frankly, this is a video game that has stood the test of time, even all these years later. I'm giving this game a 7 out of 10. Yeah, I found this one pretty decent, and I did play through the first 4 levels of this one recently. And I will say it's just that the level design of the layer levels will probably keep me from coming back to this anytime soon. At the end of the day though, while this is certainly one of the most frustrating games of the PS1 era, it is still very entertaining to play even to this day. And that is my review of the video game Crash Bandicoot. Okay, leave your comments down below in the section and let me know what you think about this video game. My review of Crash Bandicoot 2 Cortex Strikes Back will be happening sometime in the future on my channel, so be on the lookout for that. Alright, this is Slim Guy 172 saying peace out.